heading into winter, a time when hikers, bikers, and riders of all kinds might be looking to check out one of Maine's many trails.
We've been talking about the trail system a lot this year, especially after storms. The last winter dealt a big blow, but repairs and a newly approved trail repair referendum may help.
Here to talk trails with us is James Turner from Maine's Bureau of Parks and Lands. And thanks for joining us this morning. When we talk about trails in Maine, that's pretty broad. So tell us about all the different trail types out there and the groups that use them.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate in Maine to have a lot of recreational opportunities, and we kind of lump our trails into three broad categories. We have our motorized trails like the ATV and the snowmobile trails, non-motorized, which could be like your hiking and biking trails, and then multi-use trails. So good examples of those are some of our rail trails across the state, like the Whistle Stop in Farmington or the Four Seasons Trail in Dover. So those trails, you might have ATVs and hikers or runners out there. And then as far as the groups that use them, the trails in Maine are really, there's something for everybody, whether somebody's just looking to get out for a quick walk through the woods after work, or, maybe a multi-day backpacking trip where they might not see that many people.
And we're obviously coming off last winter, which dealt a big blow to trails around the state. What's the current status of the trails in general in terms of conditions?
Yeah, the storms last December really wreaked havoc on our trail system, but we've really been working pretty much since the water receded last December to get some of these trails open. Obviously, that was right before snowmobile season kind of kicked off, so we had a lot of bridges and things that we needed to get back so we could keep the money flowing into these smaller communities that really depend on the trails in the winter. So we've done a lot of repairs, especially throughout summer. So, quite a few of the trails have reopened. But there are still some trails out there that might be closed or have some reroutes that people might not be familiar with. So really just, pay attention to the signage and, be prepared, know before you go, you might come across something that you weren't expected.
When we hear the word trails, most of us think about hiking, but there's the motorized trails out there. What kind of partnerships does the state have with ATV and snowmobile clubs?
Yeah, so the Bureau of Parks and Lands off-road vehicle program works really closely with these ATV and snowmobile clubs. We administer the trail fund for both ATV and snowmobile trails across the state. This is funded through ATV and snowmobile registrations. We use that to sponsor a grant program, and so the majority of that money goes back to the clubs, which are maintaining the trails, doing the boots on the ground work, fixing them back together. So each year we're working with about 300 snowmobile clubs and 140 ATV clubs to get them that money and help with trail maintenance. And then we also have 7 recreational trails coordinators based around the state, and these positions are made to work hand in hand with the clubs and the volunteers that run them to provide any assistance that they might need with their trail system as well as landowner issues. But really, we have about 6,000 miles of ATV trail and 12,000 miles of snowmobile trails across the state, and these are all maintained by local clubs and run by volunteers. So we really do whatever we can to support them.
And if people are going out on a hike or looking to try a new trail that they've never done before, do you have some tips, things that they should know or check before they go?
Yeah, we're fortunate these days. There's a lot of resources sort of at our fingertips on the internet, whether it's websites like All Trails or Maine Trail Finder, or, club Facebook pages. So really just doing your research, figuring out what you might encounter, but also don't take that information for granted. Conditions on the ground can change with storms or weather, what have you. So really just being prepared, making sure you have some extra food, water, ready for any emergencies or accidents that might happen while you're out there as well.
And when we're out and about, of course, this is out in nature, so we do come across wildlife. What should people do if they come across, I don't know, a bear, a moose, an eagle, maybe some big cats that might be out there?
Sure. Really first and foremost, we want to try to prevent those. So if you're out hiking with, animals, dogs, maybe keeping them on leash can help prevent some of those unexpected or unwanted wildlife encounters. But, if you do happen to have an encounter, give them space. Definitely don't try to get close or approach them. Back away slowly and talk to them so they know you're there, and just kind of try to give them room to move on and avoid any further issues.
And is there anything you want our viewers to know just about, being responsible hikers, respecting the parks and the conditions, and obviously, when it comes to private property?
Yeah, absolutely. we certainly have some of our trails across the state on public lands, but the majority of our trail system, about 80%, is on private lands. So we really want to work with the landowners and make sure to respect what they need. So in some certain situations, that might mean that an ATV trail closes early so the landowner can get out there with their kids or grandkids for youth hunting season. But our clubs are usually very good working with the landowners and getting the information out. So if they're closing the trail, post it out on Facebook, getting signs out there. So really just making sure that you're aware of what's going on the trail and obeying any signage that's out there goes a long way for maintaining access.
We have about 30 seconds left. Before you go, we want to know about the voters approving that $30 million bond to repair and expand trails in the state. What does that mean?
Yeah, it's going to provide a much needed boost for really trails of all kinds. The funds will go to government entities, municipalities, nonprofits, including ATV and snowmobile clubs over the next 4 years. So the Bureau's Grants and Community Recreation Program will issue the funds through a competitive grant process. The guidelines are being finalized, and the announcement for the first grant cycle is anticipated to come before the end of the year. So I encourage anyone who's interested to visit the Bureau's website and subscribe to receive email notifications from the Grants and Community Recreation Trails Program. And lastly, all trail users, I encourage you to join your local ATV or snowmobile club, local land trust, or conservation commission to add your voice to the conversation.
All right, James, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Great, thank you.